Hello and welcome back to Adoption Talk. Yesterday I sat down and made my very first video, and I was just feeling really emotional yesterday, and so I just kind of said my feelings, whatever I was feeling at the time, and honestly it was just healing for me, just to say how I actually felt, and it feels good that I feel like whoever needs to hear me is going to hear me. So I'm going to keep making these videos, and I hope that you guys respond and let me know your thoughts. Share it with people who may need to hear, and just enjoy my life story, because I'm going to just lay it out. Like, I just need to break down all the corners, because when I'm talking to you, really I'm talking to myself, and I'm just working it out in my own mind, and sometimes when I do that, I get real divine like, and I start receiving messages. So this is going to be exciting for all of us. So I want to start talking about my adoption story, but it could be it's kind of long, so I'm going to break it up into parts. So today I want to talk about how I found out that I was adopted. Okay? So I was adopted as a baby. Before I was born, my parents were chosen, and I did have to go to foster care for 8 months, because there's a lot of paperwork type situation, but basically I grew up with my parents as my parents, and I was just your regular little girl. I was an only child. I had a big house, and basically I had access to anything I needed or wanted, and I love my parents, and I was just a regular girl, and I had some cousins, and it was great. And till one day, when I was 7 years old, one of my cousins was over at my house, and we were playing in the front yard on my porch, and we're swinging, climbing, and being kids. And she goes, you're adopted, right? And I was like, what? Come on now. Why would you say something like that to me? No. Okay? And she was like, no, yeah, you're adopted. And I was like, I didn't even believe her. I thought that was just really just silly. Why would you even say anything like that? Where'd you even get that from? And so I was like, I totally dismissed her. I didn't start freaking out or nothing. I was just like, you're tripping. So later on that day, I totally forgot about what she had said, because it was total nonsense. I did actually remember. I was like, oh, I wanted to ask my mom just to make sure, because why would Tiffany say something like that? I didn't mean to say her name, but why would she say something like that? And then so I just went to her, and I was like, Mom, she was working on the computer. I was like, Mom, am I adopted? And the look of shock. She was horrified. She was absolutely horrified. She was totally silent. And I was like, by the silence, I was like, well, what the heck? What did I just walk into? This was supposed to be a simple, quick no answer. And, but no, not instead, she got kind of real solemn and, she opened up her file cabinet, showed me a picture of my birth mother, and and she's she told me that I was adopted because my mom was really young, and I was just I was in shock. After I kind of questioned her a minute, she that's all she had for me was she was really young, and your grandparents decided this was best, and we love you, and it's great, and and I was just like, oh my gosh. So I was like, I need to go, let me talk to my dad about this. Okay. So I went to the other room, and I was like, Dad, am I adopted? And he was just horrified, just absolutely horrified. Okay. And he said yes. And then I was like, so you're not my real dad? Because I just really wanted clarification. I just wanted to know, I'm 7, so I just need to know, like, I know what it means, but I just need you to tell me for sure. And he was like, no, I am your real dad. I am your father. And I was like, but am I adopted? And he was like, yes. And I'm like, so you're not my real dad? And he's like, no, I'm your dad. And I was just like, you know what? This is too much. I was like, okay, Dad, I can see where you're going with this. I need to go to bed. And like, I swear to you, at 7 years old, I just like went to bed. I was like, it was too much. But I wasn't angry or anything like that. I was just really confused. I was really confused because, I learned that, it was just completely unnatural to me to think of someone, not being in their like real family, and the only real sad part about it, and I do hate that it happened that way. I feel like things would be different if I had found out, like, my parents were ready to tell me and told me themselves. Like, I might have had a different perspective, but finding out like all abruptly like that, like, I kind of became really detached. And so I just kind of, I'm getting interrupted by my baby right here. So yeah. So basically, that's how I found out, but that night when I laid down in my bed, I wasn't angry. Actually, in a way, I'm always been a really imaginative type of person, and like, I almost was like, I just started visioning up this story. Like, I just started thinking, I was like, I just automatically like just wanted I just knew I would one day see my mother, my birth mom, and I just had this imagination, like, I don't know, that I would go and I would spend like summer time with her, and we would have all these animals, and like, that was like my childhood fantasy. So that is how I found out that I was adopted. And and finding out is a big part of, like, the way I found out is a big part of kind of like how it shaped me going forward. So I just wanted to share so that you can have an idea of where I'm going to be coming from as I go forward. And I just would love to know, like, for those of you who are adopted, or ended up in the foster care system, or like, how did especially if you were adopted like as a baby, like, how did you find out? Did your parents tell you, or did you always just know? So I'd like to really hear your response, because I feel like just talking about it really means a lot. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what you guys all have to say. So please like, share, and subscribe so that this can be like this big, huge thing where adoptees get to come, and I got the dog coming. Their adoptees get to come and express themselves and share their stories, and maybe they can look in the camera and they can say, Mom, Dad, are you out there? And someone that can, help them reconnect, and it could just be the most beautiful story. That's my ultimate dream with this channel, is that people will be able to find their loved ones. So, and yeah, so I don't want to keep talking too much. Love you guys.